Hello, Jake Davey. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello, Chelsea Berman. I'm excited. Am I number one?
You are my first guest.
What's the name of the podcast?
The name of the podcast is We Are the Music Industry. So we're talking all about music, but I also want to get into some life stuff. You've obviously had some life updates recently, which I'd love to chat about. So it's going to be a mix of everything.
That's wild. It's cool. It's good to be here. You've thrown me in the deep end. I got a
I
text
have.
off you a couple of weeks ago, and you said I'd love to have you on the podcast. So I'm like, what podcast? Now I know what it's about. I'm excited to chat.
I've told you absolutely nothing, but you've still agreed to do it. So thank you.
I like it. Sometimes you just got to fake it till you make it. We're here.
Exactly. It'll be fun, hopefully. And hopefully everyone enjoys listening to us
Don't throw me in
speak
the deep end.
for
Here we go.
for a while. So in the deep end, I'd love for you to introduce yourself first for anyone that's listening. Obviously, I know a lot about you. I've known you for quite a few years now, but for anyone listening that doesn't know the wonderful Jake Davey, please tell us how you got started in music.
Yeah, well, I'm Jake Davey. I'm from Taree, New South Wales, a little cruisy town on the mid north coast in Australia. I started playing guitar when I was 6 years old, singing from about 12, songwriting from 13, 14. And over those kind of late teens, got into studio work and stuff like that. And over the past 10 years, I'm about to turn 28. It's just been a massive variety of music and photo and video and all things music industry. So it's been a wild run. That's like the 30-second elevator spiel.
Give us some more info. So obviously, I know, and most people know, you do a lot. So you are your own original musician. You do a lot of gigs. You tour, but you also do video and music production for people. So how, I guess, did you get started in all of that? I'm assuming you were a musician first, and that was kind of your first love. But how did the other stuff happen?
Yeah, the music's always come first and will always be first. I guess I just wanted to be like my favorite singers on YouTube and like the ones I'd see in concert. I always strive to be a performer and a songwriter. That's always been my main thing. But I found a passion for the creative side of things, the photo and film, through that. I didn't really know anyone when I was younger to do that stuff for me. So I think I picked up my first camera when I was like 14, and it was like a little tiny point and shoot. And I'd film. This is so embarrassing, but I'd film like YouTube videos and post them, which they're
And
still
some of
like
them are still on there, guys. Just so you
okay,
know.
they're hidden. I've got
Oh
like
damn!
on YouTube that are hidden because it's so embarrassing. But hey, you got to start somewhere. So I just fell in love with not just performing and being the musician, but also creating um, the actual visual element of music. And I feel like they go hand in hand. So now I get to call it my job somehow. I literally wake up every day. I'm in the studio right now, and I get to work with badass people like yourself, and make music videos, photo shoots, a little bit of artist management and marketing stuff like that. Every day is unique and different.
Living the dream. I still remember when I think it was the first time I came to your house, it must have been. And I think we found some of your old YouTube videos and we got them up on the screen and you were absolutely hating your life, which is
Yeah,
fair,
it's
but we all start somewhere.
humble beginnings. Humble. Anytime someone comes up to me and says, "Oh my god, you've got such a beautiful voice. You're so talented," I'm like, "Oh man, if you think that, I'm proof that you can work for it." No,
Mm.
I really did work hard for what I have right now. If people enjoy my music, I take a lot of pride and spend a lot of time getting it right. But humble beginnings.
Yes, and I'm the same. Like I had singing lessons from a very young age because I was quite tone deaf, and I think it means all the more to us when you do start like that and you have to really work for it.
It's so much more satisfying when you have to work for it. You're right. And I
Yeah.
think that day you were talking about with my old videos, I think you returned the favor and showed me some young Chelsea videos, which were absolutely wonderful. And it's always when we're watching our own videos, we think they're way worse than what they are. So I thought they were quite great. So good job.
Yeah, it's always cringy to look back, but it's cute as well. I like having that sort of stuff there because you know you can look back and see that you've actually improved, which I think
You're
is
like, it's worth
important for musicians.
working out.
Yeah, there's a reason we're doing it, you know.
Absolutely.
Now we've been playing together for quite a few years now. I don't actually know how many years. I can't do maths, but
Yeah, I'm
it's
not
been a
that
while.
great at pinpointing time in history, but I'd say
Mm.
it's like 4 or 5 years off the top of my
Yeah,
head.
something along those lines. So I'd love for you to tell the story of how we met and how we kind of started doing some music stuff together.
Yeah, for sure. So I think we followed each other on social media, which is how most probably friendships start these days.
Mm.
I saw Chelsea Berman music pop up there, and I was kind of watching on social media for a few months and watching you post your stuff, and I was like, she's great, she's wonderful, but we never really crossed paths because you lived, 2.5, 3 hours down the road, and that's doesn't sound like a lot, but in Australia that's quite a long way. So I was in line for a Kelsey Ballerini concert in Sydney, I believe, um, and four or five people along the line, I spot a familiar face, and I'm like, "Ah, do I know who that is? Do I not know who it is?" And it's always that awkward thing when you know someone on social media, you have that
Mm.
confidence to be like, "G'day," but you're like hoping that they say it back. And I feel like we matched each other's energy that day. I was like, "Are you Chelsea Berman Music?" I think I said your handle, and I'm pretty sure
My
you
whole
said it back
Instagram.
to me, and I'm like, "This is great." And yeah, we just kind of chatted for a little bit and hung out, and I think off the back of that, we scheduled like a catch up. Um,
Yeah,
for,
you messaged me. I must have been after that, and you were like, "Do you want to record a cover together? I'll come to yours." And again, I lived like 3 hours away, so I was like,
yeah,
"Okay, that's a trek, but sure." And then you just rocked up. I didn't even tell anyone you were coming, so suddenly there's this random guy in my house
I,
recording a video and audio
yeah,
for
I
us.
brought like all my cameras and
Yeah.
uh, all my lights and all my recording gear, and I think I was in that just part of my life where I was just so excited to like meet people that loved what I loved.
Mm,
Because being from Taree, there's kind of a limited amount of people that are into that side of things and chase after it. So um, I think I was just really excited to hit the highway and kind of share that passion with someone that also liked country music. I think that was the biggest thing.
mm.
I really started to kind of get into country music then. And we recorded a cover of Meant to Be by Florida Georgia Line. And that was fun. That was so much fun.
It's so cute. That was the first time I've ever properly done harmonies, and it was very hard. I remember you had to teach me them about 40 times, and we
I've
finally
been
got
pushing
them,
you ever
kind of.
since. Every now and then, Chelsea sends me a voice memo and she's like, I did harmonies for this. And I'm like, very impressed. It's harmonies are a slow burn, man.
Oh yeah, Jake is the reason that I persevered on the harmonies. I still can't do them for females. I don't know what it is, but males, I can work it out.
It's all about that pitch and like your
Mm,
ability to slide above or below. And there's definitely songs where I find it very, very tricky to do, but every now and then it just clicks and I feel like our
mm.
voices are really well together.
Yes, and I think having friends in music is so important. Like I don't think I would have survived without having any friends that do this, because it is such a strange thing that people don't understand if they're not in it.
Yeah, it's a very unique career path.
Mm,
And there's highs and lows. And I think because I don't know if it's the Australian music scene, but I think the highs are really high and the lows are really low. And I think having as many mates as possible in the industry helps kind of even that out a little bit. Um, and I always preach consistency, showing up every day and trying to write the best song you can, or like putting out great content, or interacting with your fans, or trying to do live shows. I think just chipping away is the key to success and the key to happiness in what we do. And I think that when we have conversations, that's constantly coming up, and we're constantly like inspiring each other to do better. So, um, yeah, thanks for 5 years.
cute. I want to go back to the talking about content, because obviously you do music videos, reels, photos for everyone, for me, which I also love. But I'm putting you on the spot here. But do you have any tips for, I guess, anyone that is releasing music, is doing all of that side of things, but hasn't really got the content part down yet? Do you have any tips for creating that really quality content that is going to get people to engage and go listen to the song?
Yeah, I'll try to think of three. So the first would
Big.
be don't overthink it, be authentic. Um, I think a lot of people, when a camera gets put up in front of them, they kind of freeze up and they try to feel like they have to be something they're not. I don't think that has to be part of the equation. I think you just need to be yourself, get comfortable in front of a camera, and practice. You know what I mean? It's not a natural thing. So many musicians, I talk to people at the top of their game and people who are just getting into it, and they still feel like it's such a unnatural, unhuman thing to do. Talk to a camera. So that would be my first tip: be authentic and practice. Two would be lighting. So many people are worried about the camera, or what they've probably got the talent side of things down if they're going to do it. But I'd say lighting is probably like the biggest tip I can give anybody. Get a big nice big light source, or shoot in the afternoon when the sun's a bit softer. Not only does it make you look better and less, it's more flattering. It's going to kind of enhance the quality of your content. Um, and three, stay consistent. I think that's truly what's going to allow your music and brand to be heard. You're going to find your people, you're going to find your followers, and they're going to stay. They're going to stick around, and they're going to support you, and they're going to. I think our end goal is always to sell tickets, get people to come to our shows, and it works. You know what I mean? Is if we're constantly showing up on social media in many different ways, we're going to sell tickets, and we're going to be able to do what we love, play with a full band to a packed out room. So yeah, they're my three tips.
Beautiful. Love those tips. And I think I really like your first point about being authentic, but also about that it isn't a natural thing for anyone. Like people do think when you are comfortable on camera that you've always been comfortable on camera and it's just like comes naturally to you. I really don't think it comes naturally to anyone. It literally is just practice and you just have to start doing it. And I've tried this with people. I've tried it with my dad because he has his business and he wasn't really creating any videos. And I'm like, just get there, start talking in front of the camera. It's going to feel so bad and you're going to feel so awkward for the first few. But now he does it all the time. And I'm like, see, that's a case study.
Yeah. It's like riding a bike. You got to
Mm,
fall off a few times, graze your knees, and then all of a sudden it just becomes natural. So I personally think that moving forward, my goal is to create more consistent, more organic content, a little less, marketing about my music, marketing about shows, but more like day to day stuff. Because there is so many different elements of my life, and I'm
mm.
definitely going to share them with the people that are interested in even this conversation so far. I'm really enjoying sharing that part of my life that I don't usually get to share or talk about.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to do this podcast as well because I feel like I do want to, get into those in-depth conversations, not just about music, but about life and just get to know, more about other musicians, but also for other people to get to know about them because yeah, it's just something that is hard to do on social media in such a short format when creating and producing new things every day. I think this is nice to just have a chat.
Yeah, and there's also the element I'm noticing a lot of artists are creating. I don't know what they're called on Instagram. It's like the group um,
Oh, yes, broadcast group, I think.
broadcast channels,
Something along those lines.
and so people are constantly craving that deeper connection, that behind the scenes kind of content. And I think the podcast has that place in the world. It's long form content.
Mm.
People want to know more about you or me or whoever else you're going to get on the podcast, and they're going to hear true stories and like about people's lives as opposed to just here's a photo and or here's a gig or here's a song.
Mm.
Here's me.
Yeah, no, I love seeing that. So I hope that other people also enjoy it when we do it. I'm sure they do.
Yeah, hopefully
And we've now been to Nashville twice together.
we
So
have.
we just got back a few weeks ago from our second trip. We went to see Mayfest, played some gigs. How was it for you? What did you get up to? I saw you a bit, but I feel like I didn't see you as much as last time.
Yeah, we didn't stay together this time, so I feel like I didn't see you every single day.
Mm,
But honestly, Nashville, like we were going to go in 2020. Obviously, that didn't work out, but went last year, went this year. Nashville to me is like it's such a whirlwind. That's the only way I can describe it. Headed over for about 3 weeks, and it's a mixture of songwriting, catching up with people, networking, just being a punter, just hanging out and enjoying music that we love. Um, and yeah, it's just every single day is jam packed, full of exciting things to do. And I really look forward to that. I think that's just going to be a yearly thing from here on out. I love getting over there. I love getting involved. The Australian music industry does a really good job of kind of integrating us into that kind of Nashville music scene while we're there as well, which I really value. Looking at building on that in the future. But yeah, I think building that connection between here and Nashville is definitely a goal of mine moving forward. I don't know what capacity, whether that's
mm.
you know work here like 9 months out of the year, spend 3 months there a year. That would be like the dream. But you never know. I'm still young.
Exactly. You still have so much time.
What about you? What are your favorite parts about Nashville?
Yeah, I think both my trips, I'm not sure about you, but both my trips are very different. Like the first time, it was obviously the first time we'd been there. We'd been wanting to go there for so long. I was literally just
Just a
like,
little
I
bit.
guess, yeah, blown away by everything and so excited to see everything and, just having a good time. We had see Mayfest, as I mentioned. We were seeing these artists that I've always wanted to see. We were just having a blast. But I think this trip, I really went over there to, I guess, yeah, work and actually write songs with these people that we don't get to write with, because they are on the other side of the world. And, we got to play gigs for the first time over there as well, which was awesome. So, yeah, definitely two very different trips, but I loved them both.
Yeah, nice. I think that's healthy.
Not as many
That's,
hangovers this time.
yeah, yeah. And it's also like, I know that you hustle back here, between your music and your job, like you'll go, go, go. And we only really see each other when we're doing shows together or
Yeah.
working together on your content. So I think it's cool to go over there and like take the pressure off a little bit. I honestly didn't think I was going to be able to get over there with my spinal cord injury and stuff like that. So just getting on, I remember getting off the plane and, well, you were there, you kind of saw me. And I was just like pretty overwhelmed that I was able to get on a plane for that amount of time and get over
Yeah.
there and be independent with my legs. So yeah, that kind of added an element of I don't know. I was just so grateful to be there.
Yeah, I know. I kept seeing you walking around, and I was like, I don't know how you were doing this, but I was so proud of you. So glad that you got there and got to be with us.
I really appreciated having some familiar faces around. It was kind of a scary thing,
Mm,
going all that way without family or without Grace to kind of have my back. But I've got some pretty badass friends, so
we love it. We love music friends.
I think. What's up, Sav? Sav's
Sav,
looking at me
want to
like,
come and say hello? Hi, Sav.
yeah. Oh, she's taking the credit. I said I've got some badass friends. Oh,
Oh,
she
she
wants me
wanted
to
to.
talk about her. Sav was
Oh, Sav. Sav feature. Let's go.
she's taking care of the audio for me. She's over
Thank you, Sav.
there.
I guess you mentioned obviously a few struggles you've had in life, but also in your music. What would you say, I guess, your biggest struggle is in music, maybe just at the moment, or maybe the whole time you've been a musician? If you could kind of pinpoint one thing that you do struggle with constantly or consistently, what would that be, do you think?
I don't think it's a bad thing, but I love helping other people achieve their goals. That's um that's my why. People say you need a why in life. I love seeing people achieve their goals. So I will happily um, take a back seat to play guitar for someone else's gig, do production, and whatever it may be. I'm just a gap filler. If there is a gap and it needs to be filled, I will fill it to the best of my ability. Um, so I think it's kind of a blessing and a curse because that can sometimes detract from um, what I'm releasing. But at the same time, I want I want to have a holistic approach. I want people to know me for more than just my music. I want them to go, I've got a guy for that. So I think
Yeah.
it's a bittersweet thing. I don't see any negative side of it, but a lot of people go, you should kind of take a step back from working for other people. I'm like, but it just fills my cup. It's just so good for the soul. You know what I mean? And like I said, every day is different. I wanted to create a life in music. I didn't want to create a career that would have those highs and lows and not know how to deal with the in between. My in between is helping other people. You know what I mean? So that's probably the hardest thing is like staying consistent in my own career.
Mm.
But at the same time, I felt even through my injury, I felt like I was able to sustain the career and still get those shows on, still put music out. So I don't know. I think that's probably it's a very complicated answer. But that's the best I got.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think you're definitely a yes man, and you always like to help and do things for other people. I think, and I think this is the same, for any musician. It's hard to prioritize your own music. If you are doing a day job, obviously your production, your music videos, your management of other people, it is kind of your day job technically. So it's just a time thing, when you are doing that and spending all your time doing that, you don't have the time to then do your own music. But I think that's something every musician struggles with in one way or another.
Yeah, agreed. And I think that's kind of leading us back to work life balance in a way. I think it's very like I've seen you've been killing it in the gym, and that's kind of become a big part of your life, the fitness side of things, and because of that, you're probably able to be mentally more clearer and more focused. and like develop relationships in a deeper way. So I think moving forward, like my goal is to make sure that I'm looking after every part of my life: personal, music, studio, health and fitness, and not taking from one to give to the other. I think that's kind of
Mm.
a very important thing for me moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess talking about your music, you do manage and assist other artists and mentor them. You've had your own managers in the past. What has your experience with that been like? And do you see yourself getting a manager in the future, or do you kind of want to be this self managed artist?
Yeah, that's a super fascinating question.
Mm.
I've had a mix of kind of managers and mentors over the years, and they've all brought their own things to the table. Everyone's so unique, um, and there's been pros and cons. Like any business relationship, I think you've just got, it's important to me that I align with people that align with my morals and values and my vision. Um, and it's such a specific thing because every musician's so different and every
Mm.
manager's so different. But I think I just want to link up with somebody, hopefully in the future, that has a work ethic that I do, um, and kind of sees what I want to achieve and helps me do that. And I think for me, a manager would be someone to represent my brand and kind of knock on those doors and say, "Hey, here's a product. He's worked hard for it. He loves it. He takes it very seriously." And I think that's a hard thing as an independent artist is like um, putting your brand on show and standing up for yourself. I think that's a little bit of an awkward thing.
Mm.
Because how are you supposed to be humble whilst pushing yourself forward? You know what I mean? Because I think humility is a fantastic trait to have, even through success.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's probably been one of my biggest struggles, selling myself. And I think, playing with you and working with you, yeah, I've learned a lot about confidence. And I just love that you always have so much confidence in yourself, but also all the people around you. And that's definitely been something you've helped me a lot with. So thank you for that.
And there's also, I just wanted to tack something on here. A lot of artists come to me and they're like, "I want a manager, manager, manager." I'm like, you can achieve so much by yourself, and
Mm,
you should get to a point where a manager can come along and go, "Yep, we've got a package here that it's just you know chipping away, it's doing great things on socials and selling tickets and doing all that thing." And a manager should be able to just come along and elevate that. I don't think a manager is going to solve your problems.
mm,
Anyway. So for anyone that comes to me and goes, "What do I do?" I say, take it back to ground zero. What can you control? And really investing your time in that, whether it be writing better songs or putting on more gigs or collaborating more, all those things, staying consistent on social media, creating better quality content. Um, you truly have, and it's so accessible. Like everyone has an iPhone 15 now. Everyone,
not me.
not you,
Still have
and the
an iPhone 14.
iPhone 14. And the quality is truly crazy. It's so accessible, so easy to do. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on the manager thing.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And I think it's dangerous when people, I guess, rely on managers, especially really early on in your career, because then you, Jake Davey Studios plug, because then you don't get to learn those things for yourself and learn how to do those things. And then you always need to rely on a manager. Like if that manager dropped you or you had to leave them for some reason, then you'd be completely screwed.
Yeah, yeah. And I think like a lot of people come to me and they're like, "Oh, I want to do Australian Idol or X Factor, whatever it is, whatever the show is," and I'm like, um, you really need to, if you want to create longevity and success and happiness in a career, you need to work up the ladder and not be, put on top straight away. I think because they can take that ladder at any point. So if you learn how to climb the ladder and deal with it financially, emotionally, in a work sense and a personal sense, if you can deal with all those things on your way up, you're going to be able to create longevity and be happier in the long run.
For sure. I'm sure people can guess from you even speaking that you're a very positive person. And you also like to write very positive songs,
Absolutely.
which
I
I
just
love.
so much negativity in the world, Chelsea. I want to I want to create music that makes people feel good and reminds them that there is good left in the world. I I was actually listening to a song "Good News Sold" by Jordan Davis this morning during my workout, and I'm like, man, this guy's nailed it. Like
Mm,
people latch onto negativity, and there's so much of it in the world because it's interesting and it's fascinating. But I truly believe that if we kind of create that positive outlook on life, and it's not even like a fake positivity. It's like truly believing in the good in the world and like people and finding something that you like to do and back to the why. So yeah, I like to think I'm a positive person.
You are. I guess I want to hit you with a hard hitting question, which maybe you've already answered that for me just then. But will we ever hear a negative or angry or sad song from Jake Davey?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Oh, cool. Great.
Yeah, I think we may have written one in Nashville.
Mm, we
Yeah,
did.
I don't know. I think it's definitely harder for me to kind of delve into that side of my life because there has been times where I've been angry and confused and um, stabbed in the back by people, but um, I know that that's a reflection of them and not who I am, and I'm going to do my best to be the better man. Um, and everyone's out here doing their best. It's as simple as that. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone's just trying to wake up and do their get it done. I don't know however you want to say that.
Mm.
And every now and then it just doesn't add up. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that.
Love that. I know that you, well, obviously, like, I think all musicians, we do write what we want to listen to as well, in a sense. And obviously, I know you do love Jordan Davis, and he does have that very positive outlook and, love songs. And I love Jordan Davis too. Who are some of your other inspirations, would you say, at the moment, or who are you loving at the moment?
Freeze.
Yeah.
Go.
Sorry.
Right. We're back. Um, yeah, you're right. We definitely do write what we like listening to or who we're influenced by. I love Jordan Davis, Old Dominion, Keith Urban. Been listening to like Zach Top recently. He's a vibe, kind of
Oh,
bringing that
yeah.
90s thing back. Um, Cameron Marlowe. Who else? Like Megan Maroney. There's a bunch. Like I really Ashley Cook's cool. I'm enjoying country music that isn't pandering too hard to any particular sound. Like I just feel
Mm.
like all those artists that I mentioned are in their own lane, and I think that's what I'm trying to do in my music is not try to write to be like somebody else, but take those influences and those sounds and tell my story. But yeah, that's a fascinating question.
Yeah, I always love hearing. And I think for me, like, I've obviously had inspirations kind of from the start of my music career, but I think who I'm loving at the moment always kind of changes depending on what people are doing. And if I discover someone new and, you get onto them and you listen to all of their music. So, yeah, I think it always changes and it's interesting to hear what other people are listening to and loving.
And the landscape of like music at the moment is moving so fast. Like you just can't keep up. Like, look at Post Malone. He's like
Mm,
infiltrated the country, and so many people love it, and so many people hate it. So, I think it's healthy when there's two sides of something. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But yeah, I'm really enjoying how fast paced the industry is at the moment, and it's like keep up, otherwise you'll be left
Yeah.
behind.
There's always something new going on, which is
It's
fun.
exciting. It is.
It's exciting. Obviously, going into some of the life things that have been happening in your life, you just got engaged recently to the lovely Grace, which is
I
very
did. I
exciting.
did. She said yes.
She said yes. Obviously, she was going to say yes.
It's so many people are like, oh, did she know? Did she know? And I'm like, well, 4 years into a relationship, you probably would have talked about it at some point. Um, I'm all for like surprises. I love like scaring people. I love surprising people. Um, all that kind of stuff. And she hates surprises, so I kind of had to be a little bit sneaky about it. Let her in on it without giving it away. And I was chatting to her after it. Oh, wait, a couple days prior to um, dropping to one knee, she had her nails done for her sister's wedding a couple weeks prior, and she broke one, and they looked really nice. And she broke one. I was like, "Oh, do you want to like go get your nails done?"
Oh, that's always a sign.
Red flag, like big red flag for a proposal. She's like, "I knew it." When as soon as she said that, I'm like, "Oh, I just thought it was something really nice." Like, I didn't think it was going to give it away, uh,
Mm.
but apparently that was like a. She's like, "Ding, ding, ding." But yeah, we went up to Hamilton Island and spent a couple of days just relaxing and kind of took her out to the peninsula there on Cat's Eye Beach, and I was so confident right up until the moment, and as soon as I got down, I just choked up and kind of took a deep breath and got through it. But yeah, she's wonderful, and I can't wait to marry her.
That's so exciting. How does it feel to be getting married? Because I feel like, I mean, you're still young, and I feel like you are probably the first of my friends that is getting married.
Yeah.
So yeah, how does that feel? Is that a weird feeling? Obviously, it's exciting, but yeah, I mean, I just feel like marriage is such a grown up thing, and really that next stage in your life.
Yeah, I find like I think getting a puppy was a big thing,
Mm,
and like we've had Levi for 2 or 3 years now. Um, the, getting engaged felt huge. Like building a house at the moment, we're planning a wedding. There's just so many things in life that like these milestones really you'll remember forever. So I wanted to be so present in those moments when we got Levi, when I asked her to marry me, all those things. And I think looking back in 30 or 40 years, that's the things that matter. You know
mm.
what I mean? Like when you spill coffee on your way to work, or you get a flat tire, or you kick your toe, those little things that kind of try to slow you down every day and turn it into a negative thing, they can all be phased out by those massive happy moments. So I'm just really really happy with how life's going, and especially after everything with my back. I keep going back to that, but um, yeah, it just doesn't. She stuck around,
Yes, we love Grace.
and she puts
She's
up
the
with me.
best.
She's
Yes, and I can't wait to see all the engagement and wedding content. It's going to be great.
yeah, it's funny. I being up in Hamilton Island, I was going to get like a photographer or a videographer, and I'm like, nah, Grace wouldn't want that. And I'm like, I didn't really know anyone up there. I feel like if I did it locally, I could have called on some mates to like
Mm.
make it happen. But it was kind of nice. Like I pretended like I was setting up the camera for like some photos, and I filmed it, and it was really nice. So
Oh,
yeah, very
cute.
sweet.
I love it. Well, it sounds like your life's gone well, your music's going well. What's next for you, I guess, in the music world? We are going on tour. We should probably mention that. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I'm currently on tour with Travis Collins for the Don't Get Me Started tour. That has been wild, playing to like 300 to 400 people a night, all over Australia, which has been crazy. Um, just me and my acoustic, and the crowds have been phenomenal. So that's been really special. Shout out to Trav for having me along. Going on tour with you in September, which is going to be great. It's always cool to come together, especially in this area, to play some acoustic gigs. And then Tamworth is sneaking up again. So I've got
Mm.
Tamworth Music Festival Wednesday, 22nd of January, full band show, which is always a cracker. We played it a couple of years back. I played it this year myself, and then this next year. Um, so yeah, plenty of gigs. Got me a music festival in October. Pitching to a bunch at the moment. Yeah, I'm just keen to get back out and play as much as possible. New music is coming ASAP. I've just got to do a photo shoot for it. But the single is Heart Like Yours, which is not announced yet. So there's your scoop.
Oh, exclusive.
And I think you've told me that this is your favorite Jake Davey original.
It is. I love this song. Obviously, I love the produced version, but I'm really keen for like a really stripped back acoustic version as well, just because it is such a beautiful song. So
Why don't
hopefully
you
that's also in the works.
that? I appreciate that. No, it was I wrote that with Lydia Sutherland and Aaron Pollock, good friends of ours, last year in Nashville, and it came together pretty quick. I think any song that was meant to be does. And yeah, it feels great to sing. It's great to perform, and I'm really really proud of how it sounds. So I'm excited to roll that out.
Amazing. Well, we can't wait. And thanks for the exclusive. And thanks for being my first podcast guest. I feel like this went well. It was nice to chat.
I'm excited to see the podcast roll out and who else you get on, and I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
Yes. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks.
And I'll chat to you soon.
Talk to you soon. See you later.